Madam Web story details, Ezra Miller's apology, and the season premiere of She-Hulk. We're talking all this and more on this week's show. I'm your host, Nick.
And I'm Anthony.
And welcome to That Superhero Thing podcast.
Let's do it.
Anthony, She-Hulk is here.
Mate.
Finally. We'll get into the review, but spoilers. I loved it.
Mate, I loved it. It was
Everybody
so
who didn't
good.
like it, I mean, I don't know. I don't get it.
No,
Do I get
don't
it? Kind of.
No, I don't get it.
No, I can. I don't know. I can kind of see where people are coming from. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to say. No, they're stupid. I like it. We'll leave it with that. There you go.
You had it here first.
Review is over. TST exclusive. Well, on this week's show, we're going to be breaking down all the week's biggest comic book movie news. We're then going to be doing our full spoiler review of She-Hulk. Spoilers, no non-spoiler review. We're straight into spoilers with it. And then we're going to listen to all your thoughts and theories at the end of the show in Podfans Assemble. We've got timestamps in the description for you too, in case you want to skip ahead to the review or to your comments in Podfans. Don't forget as well, if you enjoy the show, please make sure to follow us on your favourite podcast platform and leave us a rating and review. The more subs and reviews we get, the higher we rank in the podcast charts, and the more people will get to find the show. Can I just say one other thing as well?
Go on.
Oh, two other things. Firstly, we're going to have Ridiculous Theories back this week. We've not done Ridiculous Theories here for ages, but Anthony's got two of them.
I don't think they're ridiculous.
Well, no,
I think they're plausible.
I can't. Plausible Theories isn't a good title for a segment. So we're going to... Semi-plausible theories isn't good, so we're going to go with Ridiculous Theories. One other thing I want to say as well, last week, I was a guest on another podcast.
How did it go?
It was good. It was fun. I was on Matt Spectro Through the Multiverse podcast, and we talked... No, yeah, that's what it's called. Fucking hell. I wrote Podverse, but that's our podcast. Matt Spectro Through the Multiverse, and we talked about the first episode of Invincible. So Matt every week breaks down animated comic book, TV series and movies. I was on it this week. We did Invincible. We talk about the whole series as well. But that is also coming out today, Friday. So we'll put
Invincible?
No, the podcast episode.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
The podcast episode is coming out today. So, after you listen to ours, I'll put a link in Twitter and we'll put a link in the description as well. Go and check out the podcast.
I was like, oh, season 2.
How did I not know this? I mean, it might be, and I might have just missed it. Should we talk about real news, though, rather than the other exclusive that Invincible Series 2 is out today?
Go on, then.
Other news, then, right? I'm going to try not to spoil She-Hulk in this news article.
Okay.
I kind of want to leave this conversation till She-Hulk review, but I want to talk about it. So, we might be one step closer to a solo Hulk movie. Potentially. Ooh. Could be happening. Kind of maybe. Spoilers hinted at in She-Hulk episode 1. But in 2012, when most of Marvel's distribution rights reverted from Paramount to Marvel Studios, do you remember you all used to have the Paramount logo at the start? Hulk's rights didn't follow suit because Hulk's rights are with Universal instead.
Right.
So Marvel can still include Hulk in like ensemble movies, but they can't give him like a solo movie unless they distribute it through Universal. Yeah. Which they obviously want to do because money and stuff. Because it'll cost them money basically. But that could all be about to change because according to the official filings, I don't know who digs these things out, but someone's found them. The official filings for the Paramount deals, the contract ran for 15 years from the release of the initial movie. So they think the Universal deal would have been the same, which would mean that the contract would end on the 13th of June 2023, which is 15 years from the release of the Ed Norton movie that we recorded a review for last week.
Oh, I was thinking of the first one, the 2003 one. I was like, wouldn't that have already happened in 2018 then?
Yeah, no. So yeah,
right,
the Ed Norton one, yeah. For a start, that's terrifying that was 15 years ago. I know we only did it last week, but I didn't put 2 and 2 together or even do 2023 minus 8. But I didn't even figure that out. But that's really scary that it's 15 years old. Could it be, I mean, I think it's potentially hinted at, as I said, in She-Hulk, but could it be one of the unnamed Marvel movies?
That would be cool.
Could we be getting a World War Hulk movie?
Or Planet Hulk?
Planet Hulk? Yeah. We kind of had live action Planet Hulk. With Thor. Yeah, World War Hulk could be good. I think they'll do the story slightly differently, and again, we'll talk about it in the review. But yeah, I'm excited. I'd like to see a solo Hulk movie.
I'd like Mark Ruffalo to get his moment.
Yeah,
I think it's only fair.
I mean, he's been in like 27 films, so he's had his
He's
moments.
literally sat there like always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
He's definitely had his moments. But yeah, I'd be excited for that. I want to see. I think World War Hulk, if done right, it's a bit dark, the story in the comics, but I think they'd they'd make it a little bit
They
more
can do that now, though, can't they? Look at the way it's all been going.
Yeah. But I don't think they've gone the right direction with the character for it to be a really serious one. Although I suppose it could take a really dark turn.
But then peril, like...
Peril. Yeah. Peril.
Danger.
Yeah, they could just do peril and
but you know what I mean. Like Thor's hilarious, but the moment that there's some serious trouble, like
as soon as there's peril,
he
goes super serious and his eyes will glow and all that sort of stuff.
He gets off his witch's broom.
Forgot about that.
That's my favourite bit.
That's amazing. Anyway, next bit of news: Madam Web. Apparently, there's been some character reveals and potential, not plot details, story details. Maybe.
No. Okay.
So, I know you can tell you're really excited with this. I'm kind of excited by this, but not. Should we talk through it? So, this has come from the Cosmic Circus, and apparently they've confirmed major details and characters. So, they reckon that Dakota Johnson is playing Cassandra Webb, which we already knew. We knew she was going to be the title character.
Yeah.
Sydney Sweeney from, is it Euphoria she's in?
I have no idea.
With Zendaya. That series that she's on HBO Max, maybe. It might be something else, but yeah, I think so. She's playing Julia Carpenter. There's a point to this. She's playing Julia Carpenter, who in the comics was the second Madam Web, and she replaced Cassandra after Cassandra was killed by Kraven.
Okay.
Apparently. And there's going to be a lot of apparentlys because I don't know what I'm talking
about.
Apparently. I'm just reading the notes. Celeste O'Connor is playing Mattie Franklin. So Celeste was Lucky in Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Okay.
Yeah, Finn Wolfhard's love interest.
Yeah.
She was a 90s Spider-Woman. Isabella Merced is playing Anya Corazon. So Isabella Merced was in Transformers and Dora the Explorer.
Okay.
She was the new rebooted Dora. She's playing, as I said, Anya Corazon, who again is a version of Spider-Girl in the comics. So we've basically got like 4 Spider-Girl / Spider-Women at this stage. Adam Scott, who we know is in it, he's playing a young Ben Parker.
Okay.
Who's going to basically young Uncle Ben,
yeah.
who's going to be a paramedic with Cassandra, and then Emma Roberts is playing Mary Parker, aka Peter Parker's mum.
Yeah.
Who we already know from set photos and videos is pregnant.
Yeah.
So I assume she's pregnant with Peter Parker. I mean, as opposed to Peter somebody else, but yeah, Peter Parker. So story wise, the Cosmic Circus reckon that it's going to be set in the early 2000s. Someone is looking to destroy the web of life and destiny, which is what Madam Web protects, and they're going to do it by removing / killing the unborn Peter Parker. Now, I think that sounds like an amazing idea for a Spider-Verse movie, and I was really excited when I read it all, and then I remembered that it's Sony and Amy Pascal, and I'm a bit like, oh.
You see, my problem straight off with it is Peter Parker was bitten by a spider.
Yeah, I know he was, but it can still be fate.
I don't know, it just seems weird. Like, I can't get my head around that.
No, but it's a different take. It's multiverse, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah,
I like to think that the Sony movies are like all in a different universe, and we don't have to pay too much attention to them. Like the thought of
I'm just going to remind everybody that their latest
MCU.
Film was Morbius.
I know. And the next one's Kraven.
Yeah.
Kraven the animal activist, or whatever it's going to be called now.
Oh, God.
Yeah. At least DC haven't got doing the titles. Kraven
the
hunter,
Spider-Man baddie.
Who likes to wear fur, but only if it's fake because he loves the animals now. I would think with this sort of movie, it could work if it was done obviously right, but it needs to be like a big, dark, gritty 3-hour epic.
Yeah.
Or even a couple of movies, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
But they won't. They'll make this an hour and 20 minutes, and it'll just be a rush job, and it'll look cheap and nasty.
Yeah.
But, you know...
How have they not
learned?
Hope.
I don't... Well, because everybody wanted to watch Morbius again. I know nobody
didn't.
Went. Like 12 people. I know, but
I think it was the best version of trolling you've ever seen in your life.
Sony
Everyone was like,
cool.
Sony, it was amazing. We want to watch it again. And then they released it, and they were like,
No, it could work. Hopefully Kevin Feige will get involved a little bit and give him some pointers. Because it's such a good idea for a movie, and it's going to be so wasted. But I can just see, like, even though like the cast that they've got, you know, putting Adam Scott and Emma Roberts to one side, the 4 Spider-Women, they're good actresses.
Yeah.
And good characters as well. And I just think we're going to get like 2 minutes of each of them, and one of them will die 15 minutes in just to sort of motivate the others.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the others will get like 3 lines, and it'll just be a bit shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to. I'm not excited anymore. I was, and you've talked me down. DC news. So last week we reported that Warner Brothers are looking for a Kevin Feige type to oversee the DCU, shall we call it, or the DCU reboot, and basically have creative control for their 10-year plan. So Variety has reported that they're considering a few candidates, but one of their top picks is Greg Berlanti, who you won't know, and I didn't either, but here's the guy who had overall control of CW's Arrowverse.
Okay.
I mean, it's good because it was all consistent.
Yeah.
But it was consistently naff. It wasn't very good.
But it had a
in my opinion.
But it had a big following.
Massive following, yeah.
So maybe
it needs maybe the DCU needs more of a light-hearted touch.
The thing is, they also didn't have a great amount of money, did they?
No.
With the Arrowverse.
No.
So maybe with a bit of money.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
I'm not convinced. But I think at this stage I just want a bit of consistency.
I just feel like they need a bit of optimism.
Yeah.
I feel like the power of good thoughts of the DC.
The power of good thoughts
might just encourage them.
Big prayer circle and then just figure it out.
Like, you know, like if we all just sat at the sidelines going, "You can do it!"
Cheer them on. They do. I know I was going to say the Snyderverse people do, but they don't. They hate Warner Brothers, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the fact that there'll be one person overseeing it, and hopefully it'll have this one idea. But yeah, I'm not a massive fan of that idea. They need somebody. I don't know. Like they need even Todd Phillips going down the Joker route. I'd be all right with that. It'd be a very different take on it.
Yeah,
but I'd be okay with it. It would have been like if Christopher Nolan had done like a whole universe again.
I'd have been hooked on that.
They just need somebody, and they don't. Yeah. A little bit of me. Right, this is not a dig at Greg Berlanti. He's done I don't particularly like the CW shows, but you said, they've got a massive following. But he's not like a big name, is he? No. It's not like if they said, Christopher Nolan is now going to oversee it, or Todd Phillips is going to oversee it. You'd be like, freaking hell, that's amazing. Whereas they go Greg Berlanti, and you go, who's Greg Berlanti? I don't know who he is.
Let's have Lin-Manuel Miranda oversee it, and they'll all be musicals.
Exactly, yeah, I'd be okay with that. Do you not think they're trying to do it on the cheap, though, here?
Yeah.
By getting Greg Berlanti in? Because he's not going to cost as much money as getting somebody like Todd Phillips or Christopher Nolan to do it. I'm not saying that they're the only people who can do it, but because he's not a big name, and with all the talk of them having cancelled Batgirl to save themselves a load of tax money, is this just like, let's see what we can do and we'll do it as cheap as physically possible?
Yeah, but the second you have that conversation, it's going to be shit. The second you say, let's do it as cheap as possible, you've already sealed its fate.
I know. And the thing is, if you look at what did get cancelled Batgirl, I think it did look a little bit cheap and CWE, so why would they go down that route?
Well, yeah.
Not
doesn't make sense.
No. Talking about Batgirl or Batman, the Batman sequel, we don't actually know if it's happening yet. Variety, as well as reporting on the overseeing of the DCU, have reported that even though it's in early development, apparently, the Batman sequel, it's not actually been greenlit by Warner Brothers yet. And they're saying if it does happen, how ridiculous is that? It will be a number of years away. The Batman did $770 million at the box office.
I was going to say
it's $200 million budget.
The best out of all of their projects for DC.
Hasn't. No. Aquaman broke a bill.
No. Recently.
Yeah.
In the last couple of years, it's been the best one that's not been following suit from the.
It was good.
That and Joker have been the two best.
Was it just because it was a different Batman and it wasn't tied to the DCU and people knew that?
I don't know.
I can't imagine though why. I enjoyed it. It was a bit long and a little bit boring in parts, but I enjoyed it overall. It was widely praised by critics and it made a ton of money. Why are you not greenlighting this?
I don't know.
Instantly.
I want to see more Penguin.
Yeah, I do. Well, we're getting a series, aren't we? When we get another series?
Don't know.
Penguin, the dude who hobbles along and owns a bar. The series. Sticking with that sort of thing, though, we mentioned the Joker last week. Obviously, we know that's been greenlit. I think it was last week or the week before. Yeah. That's got a $150 million budget. So it's a little bit cheaper than the Batman sequel. But $20 million of that's going to Phoenix, $20 million is going to Todd Phillips, and then $10 million is going to Lady Gaga. So that leaves $100 million for the rest of it. How quick was my maths there? Dead good. Mortgage advisor, A-level in maths. Thank you.
Why is Lady Gaga only getting 10?
I would imagine because it's her first one.
Okay.
I'd like to think that is the reason and not because she's a woman.
Yeah.
But yeah, you never know with Warner Brothers, do you?
I know.
Last bit of DC news. Last bit of news. We had Ezra Miller's apology. No one can see me doing the speech marks or whatever.
Quotes.
Air quotes, that's it. Yeah, it is an apology. Should I read it to you?
Is it?
Have you read it? I'm not going to do an impression.
Or did he do lines on a chalkboard and they've copied it? Having recently gone through a time of intense crisis, I now understand that I'm suffering complex mental health issues and have begun ongoing treatment. I want to apologise to everyone that I have alarmed and upset with my past behaviour. I am committed to doing the necessary work to get back to a healthy, safe and productive stage in my life.
Is that it?
And scene.
Right, I'm not laughing at the fact that he's got mental health issues, because he does.
Yeah.
Sorry, they do. And we've said for ages that Ezra needs help and somebody needs to help, get involved, basically. Yeah. I just don't feel that this is genuine.
No, I don't feel it's a genuine apology.
I don't even feel like it's from Ezra. I feel like this is Warner Brothers just trying to put out fires.
I feel like they've put Ezra in a room, said to them, don't speak, don't deal with the outside world at all.
Don't do anything.
Let us release a PR press apology and wait until the flash is released before you go back outside.
I agree.
Essentially, I think that's what's happened.
I agree.
And it's just so fake.
It is, isn't it?
It's the best way to say it. It sounds fake.
It's like a
forced
YouTube apology video, but they're not risking putting Ezra on camera.
Yeah.
Because no one will believe what they're saying at all. I mean, I hope it's real. And I really genuinely do hope that Ezra is getting help. But I just don't. I'm also really torn now because, and we've talked about this, and we've talked about it on the Discord with patrons as well. I want to watch the movie because I kind of want to see the train wreck of what it's going to be. I'll be really honest. But also, I want to support, like you said, all the people who have put a lot of work into this.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't want to give money to Ezra Miller or Warner Brothers.
Ezra Miller's getting paid though, no matter what.
No,
whether we go to see it or we don't.
I know,
and that's the thing. For me, it's just
it's more Warner Brothers. And again, I really genuinely think Ezra needs help. I don't think it's Warner Brothers' fault. I don't think you can blame Warner Brothers for Ezra's actions at all. But I feel like they either should have stepped in and sorted this straight away, or cut ties with Ezra.
Yeah.
Say from day one, right? We will not tolerate that behaviour. You're done. It's over.
Exactly.
We're gonna recast.
But this is the thing. There was a lot that came out, so this is a pattern of behaviour for quite some time. This is not something that's new. So, and there's no way on the scale of the things that they've been accused for.
Yeah, I know.
That nobody else noticed,
Exactly.
whether it was on set or in private life and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It just, to me, it just makes no sense whatsoever.
No.
That no one would have picked up on it.
I know.
And they've just let it continue.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's that whole thing of just because they're an actor doesn't mean that they're above the law.
No, not at all, obviously.
And we all say obviously, but it still seems to be a trending thing.
People do get away with not murder yet, but they do. They get away with it. Not everybody does though.
No, I know.
We're getting deep into like cancel culture and stuff like that. But some people can say one thing 15 years ago and it's like the shutdown and I'll be very careful here. James Gunn got sacked by Disney and it was not a good joke. Clearly it was a rape joke, but he got sacked by Disney for a rape joke 15 years ago. But it was 15 years ago and he apologized and acknowledged the fact that he'd done something really, really wrong and they sacked him.
Yeah.
To be fair, Warner Brothers hired him in 2 minutes, which kind of gives you an idea as to what's important to them. But Ezra Miller is apparently kidnapping people. They've got a cult running from their barn.
Yeah.
And is it a barn? Something like that.
A farm. Yeah.
And they're now breaking and entering and stuff like that, having assaulted numerous people.
Yeah.
And they're just ignoring it.
Yeah.
And I just don't get why Ezra's getting away with this. And I don't think it's anything particularly to do with Ezra. I'll be really honest, I don't.
No.
I think if Ezra Miller was working for Disney, they'd have been sacked months ago from this.
Yeah.
I think it's Warner Brothers just letting it slide, thinking, I spent $200 million on this.
Do you know what? This is the problem, that I don't think anybody's dealing with it particularly well. I think I do feel Disney jumped the gun in general.
Oh, I do.
I think they just don't want to be associated with any bad press and just cut ties instantly.
Yeah, I agree.
Before finding out whether that person's innocent or not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he wasn't innocent. He did do it, but it was a rash decision.
Well, no, what I'm thinking of is more like Johnny Depp and stuff like that.
Yes.
Like
that was Warner Brothers?
Oh, shit, yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, but Disney as well, because Jack Sparrow.
I'm sure they did, but again, right, Johnny Depp, and I'm not defending what Johnny Depp did. I mean, in my opinion, he's the lesser of two evils in the situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they didn't sack Amber Heard.
No.
They sacked Johnny Depp in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And now Ezra's sort of getting away with this.
Yeah.
Is it because it was extremely easy to replace Johnny Depp, so they just got rid of Johnny Depp?
Well, I think it was just because Johnny was not in the middle of filming something.
Possibly, yeah, probably.
Everything was in post-production that he'd already done and was on its way out, so it was too late.
Smack bang in the middle of filming a movie.
Yeah.
And Ezra's in the middle of filming a movie.
Yeah.
There's going to be more to this.
It just really winds me up.
There's going to be a lot more to this every week.
Yeah.
Every week is the Ezra Miller. There's like an Ezra Miller show. I've said this before. We need our own theme tune for this little segment.
Ezra. What's he done this week?
If anybody wants to make us some music, we will insert it into the episode.
I know.
I think that's us for news, though.
Yeah.
God, that finished on a dark, somber note. Let's do fun She-Hulk. Yeah?
Okay, yeah.
So, She-Hulk, episode 1, A Normal Amount of Rage. Spoilers, as we said, from the get-go.
She does not have a normal amount of rage.
She doesn't have a normal amount of rage. We'll go through different bits of it. We're not going to break the whole episode down in full, but before we sort of get into it and start ripping it apart in a good way.
Yeah.
General idea. You loved it.
I absolutely loved it.
Were you surprised at how much you loved it?
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be as good as it was.
I was quite shocked. And I just felt like it was dead feel good.
Yeah, I did.
I felt like it was a little bit back to basics.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not overly complicated.
No.
Fast paced.
Really fast paced.
It went through, I mean, it was a 38-minute
36 minutes,
show, something like that.
And you got to remember, 6 minutes of that with Marvel shows is the credits.
Yeah.
But
absolutely nailed it all the way through. There was no point
so.
where I was bored. There was no point when I looked at my phone. There was nothing. Like, I was completely hooked on it.
It went really quick. It felt like a 15-minute episode.
Yeah.
Which I've said this before. It's a good sign for me if it feels like it's going really quick.
Yeah.
It didn't rush through things in a bad way. I mean, it's probably a decent way to start because one of the...
Well, it spent the whole episode introducing her.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
which
that's
is what we
it.
needed to do.
It wasn't like let's try and introduce you to as many people as possible so that we can get the story started. They've gone, let's use this episode to introduce her, and then we'll go into it.
Yeah.
And we've got the glimpse of Jamil, do you know what I mean? And all that kind of stuff. We don't know what that's about yet.
No.
And I like that.
Yeah,
I like that's happened and then it's just gone, okay, that's the end of the episode. And I'm like, sound.
The whole origin of it, I mean, they've changed the origin for Jen.
Massively
from the comics.
It was a blood transfusion, like a proper one, wasn't it?
Yeah, blood transfusion. I don't know if she got shot or attacked by a crime lord in the comics, but it was a whole blood transfusion. This was like super, super quick. Basically, car crash, bit of blood dropped into her arm from Bruce.
I love that it was a random ship as well.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that because there's definitely got to be more to that. But I mean, even just that being the origin. I mean, it was great. It was dead quick and dead simple. It threw me off at first how they'd structured the episode because we started off with her as Jen rather than She-Hulk.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is her pre-Hulk and we're going to get a big drawn-out thing. Well, not in a bad way, but you do with TV series. This was very different to have the whole introduction wrapped up in 1.5 hour episode.
Yeah.
Normally it'd be 2 45-minute to an hour episodes, like a double feature for what episode 1 and 2, and we drag it out, and then episode 3 would be them getting used to the powers, episode 4 would be them mastering the powers, if not further down the line. Like Ms. Marvel, but I'm not dissing Ms. Marvel for it. This was just quick, we're done now. We've now got 8 episodes of story and no more a little bit of world building with supporting characters probably, but for the actual main character, I feel like I know her. Yeah. She's brilliant. I love her.
She's sound.
She's so funny.
She pulls you in instantly.
Exactly. The fourth wall breaks help with that.
Yeah,
but don't make it by any means. It could have done it.
But she only does it twice in the episode, doesn't she?
Yeah, 2 or 3 times. Yeah. So it's
telling us
good.
the story, and then that one look she does at the bar with Bruce.
Yes.
That's literally it.
Yeah.
And then he looks past to be like, "Are you talking to?" And
I love
that.
I love the fact that he acknowledged it. I think as a character though, she's brilliant. She's so matter of fact. It's brilliant casting.
Yeah.
Again, I wasn't convinced when I found out it was going to be Tatiana Maslany. Again, nothing against her. I
can't remember what I've seen her.
Orphan Black. She was in. Do you know what you'll know her from? Parks and Rec. She was Tom's girlfriend, the doctor, who was moving to like a different country or Africa or something like that. Yeah. That's Didn't I send you a picture to know? I was watching it the other day. I can't remember. She's brilliant at it. The whole way she handles herself, super confident.
I also must admit that I loved the way that they did her first 2 turns.
Yeah.
In that they did it from her point of view. So it was like POV
running
through the wood, and it was all a bit hectic, and you could see she was taller, but you didn't see the green. It wasn't like a big...
You
knew what had happened. Yeah, 100%. But, and, you know, again, we've seen the trailers and stuff, so we knew what she looked like. Yeah. But to have that as the intro rather than it being straight into... Here she is as Hulk.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
So the episode was basically her training. Yeah. Not that she needed that much training. I mean, she completely just got onto the fact as to how to control this very quickly. She's just fully in control of being, even when she turns. Yeah. She's just her completely. Yeah. And then even by the end, she just knows how to turn it on and off like that. Yeah. And Bruce is like proper jealous of the situation. I love
that we got a bit more of Bruce as well.
I did.
And what's gone on with him.
His story, yeah.
I really like that.
It explains it a lot. It explains it really well. Again, it explained it really, really simple. Yeah. But not to the point where I was like, is that it? Or that's stupid. It was just enough to give you the information, explain a few bits away. I think there's more to it. I think it's hiding. I think there's more to it. There's two things that I think that think it's hiding. We'll get back to the training in a minute. So, obviously, it explains how he gets back to human form. Yeah. And why he gets back to human form. Because at first I was like, well, I get that he's got this thing on his arm. Yeah. But why does he want to be a human again if he's this super Hulk? So, if I'm right, he explained that his arm wasn't healing at all when he was Hulk. Yeah. And when he turned back into human form, it's starting to heal slowly. Obviously, he then completely heals it with Jen's blood. Yeah. Because she's a better bond with the gamma radiation, is it?
Yeah, it seems that way.
So the two things that I'd question about Hulk, which again I think we'll learn a lot more about. Yeah. One of them is the obvious one. It's the Sicarian ship. Yeah. So it's a Sicarian courier ship, and it was trying to deliver a message to somebody. It's got to be Hulk. Yeah. Yeah. Is that could be the whole World War Hulk thing?
Could it be related to the bracelets?
It could be. I was thinking more in the comics. He's got a son. Scar is his son, who's still on Sakaar. Oh, okay. So I'm wondering whether it's that type of thing. Yeah. I don't know when we're gonna find out. I don't know whether it's going to be something that's drip fed through the whole series, or whether we're not going to hear about this till episode 9. Yeah. And it's going to be the post credits of episode 9, or right at the end of episode 9. The other thing that
could be that Bruce just gets taken.
It could be.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'd be good with that.
Yeah. I feel like they're going to write him out somehow. Yeah. Not permanently, but I feel like they're going to write him out somehow.
But there's a gap he's been missing, and then we find out about World War Hulk. Yeah, that'd be good.
Not out of the series. I mean, out of the MCU.
Yeah.
Or out of Earth.
Yeah, that's MCU. What I mean.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a number of films. We won't see him for ages. Yeah, and then we'll find out that this has all happened with World War Hulk. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I'd be alright with that. Yeah,
because we haven't seen him, and then he gets a solo movie. Yeah, so it's like he's been gone, and then we get a whole movie just dedicated to him.
Yeah.
I'd like that.
Yeah, I think
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. The other thing I'm questioning, and I didn't pick up on it in the first one. It was only because I've watched it twice for the notes. When he transforms after the car crash, he's like telling Jen to get away and to go basically, and then obviously he does like the whole angry, scream and all that sort of stuff, and you can hear him turn into Hulk. Is he turning back into Smart Hulk? Or is there something... Is proper Hulk?
I thought it was just Smart Hulk.
Well, I did at first on the first viewing, but then I thought, why would he tell her to get away? Because he's like, get away, like he would if he was turned into normal Hulk.
I thought he was telling her to get away because he was bleeding.
Maybe that's it.
I thought... No, I thought it was because...
Is that what you thought?
He was bleeding and he didn't want to bleed on her.
Yeah, maybe I'm just reading too much into it.
So, I don't know whether he already knew that there's the chance that he could infect her.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
because if he's been working on his body for that long, if he's been checking his blood and all of that kind of stuff, he's going to know that it could be transmitted through like that.
I get what you mean. Yeah, maybe that's all it is.
I don't know.
Maybe that's all it is. I hope it's not. I hope there's a little bit more to
because it was as she was dragging him out the car.
Oh, wasn't it? He was saying get away because his arm was bleeding because the machine had fallen off it.
Yeah.
Okay, I get you now. There you go. That's a non-story. Might be more to it. I don't know.
Can I just say?
Yeah.
Tony's mask.
Was it right? Was it Tony's mask?
Well,
so it was Tony's t-shirt, Led Zeppelin t-shirt from Avengers.
Yeah.
I got that.
Yeah.
Tony's beach house, Tony and Bruce's little love nest that they built together
with the little
BB and the TS. I didn't like that. I got really sad.
I didn't know how I felt about that.
I didn't know how I felt about it. The mask, the helmet.
It wasn't the one that he wore when Thanos, because there was a lot of it missing.
So I thought it was an Iron Man helmet as well. But I've seen a few things online saying it was Ultron's first helmet from Age of Ultron. You know when he first breaks into when he first gets into the Ultron bot.
Why would he keep that though?
I don't know. I can't.
That doesn't make sense to me.
No, it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, he makes a comment about Ultron. Says like, when I got knocked out, I turned back into a human when I got knocked out by a giant robot or something like that. So he does make a comment.
Could it have
but
been the one?
I would think it's more of Tony's.
Could it have been the one that he had at the beginning of Endgame?
That's what I thought it was at the start. Yeah,
the one where he thought he was dying the first time, and the message to Pepper Potts was in that.
That's exactly what I thought at first.
I think it's that one rather than, because his last one, a whole piece was missing off the face, and there was nothing missing on that one. It was all just scuffed and scraped.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Yeah, it was only when I read this article, I can't remember what it was now.
Yeah, I don't think that's right.
Because I read this article and it's like, oh my god, there's an Ultron helmet in it, and I was like, how did I miss that?
Yeah,
and then that's what it was referring to. But yeah, I don't think that's right at all.
No,
but I loved all the little. There were loads of we'll get to the training in a minute. I keep skipping past it. There were loads of like little callbacks and Easter eggs.
Yeah.
So there was there were loads obviously about Tony Stark, the Led Zeppelin t-shirt, the initials, all that sort of stuff. There was loads of references back to Steve Rogers.
Yes.
The whole
from
the start to the end.
Yeah.
The fact that she's questioning him about has he lost his virginity.
That was hilarious.
Onto it, they start talking about it again, sort of like when they're drinking.
Yeah.
And then we get what must be the best post-credit scene. Definitely in a show. Good. Definitely in a show, but probably one of the best post-credit scenes. It was stupid.
It was stupid,
normally I hate
brilliant.
the stupid ones.
Yeah.
And it was the very end note where she was like, Captain America, fuck!
It was so good.
It was good. Who was it, though? Was it? Because, again, there's things all over the internet. There's one of them. There's two girls that went there in First Avenger. There was, what's her name from Game of Thrones? No, she wasn't in it.
Emilia Clarke.
No, we're just gonna rattle through the Game of Thrones actresses now. I can't remember what her name is now.
Oh,
go on.
Do you know who it could be?
Who?
The power contractor. What's her name?
Whoa. No. The power contractor. Who's the power contractor?
No. Who was it in the program? Friggin' hell.
We're going to leave this running for a minute. Go on, Andy.
Emily Van Camp. Could it be her?
No, because it was 1943.
Oh, yeah.
That
was a waste of time. Sorry, guys. Ruined it.
That was amazing. Well done, Andy. I like that.
I hate my life.
Right. It was Natalie Dormer. It might not have been her. Natalie Dormer, she was in Game of Thrones. I can't remember if she played in Game of Thrones.
Marjorie.
Bloody hell, she was, yeah. Well done, Andy. You're normally shit at Game of Thrones names. You admit it. You tell me every week.
Listen, that's because it was Marjorie. It wasn't like Tanoff of something, or
if Tyrion had been called Barry, we'd have been all right.
Honestly, it's just they're not easy names to remember. I'm sorry.
No, that's why he knows Jon Snow and Marjorie, and that's it.
It took me 4 series to get onto Daenerys.
So it was either Natalie Dormer, because she was in it, Captain America
in 1943.
In 1943,
okay,
or there was like a really, really short clip in it during one of the USO shows where he was talking to the woman who plays Star-Lord's mum.
But listen, does it have to be someone from 1943? Because technically, when you think about it, it happened in 1943. Does it have to be someone from 1943?
Well, go on. Where are we going with this one then?
Well, look at Loki when we saw the person in the background come through.
So you reckon Steve Rogers before he dropped off?
No.
Before he dropped off all the stones, he jumped back to 2012, picked up Sharon Carter and was like, "Do you fancy getting jiggy in 1943 at a USO show?"
No,
jumped to 1943.
No, right. I'm not saying that.
Did it in 1943 and then jumped back and was like, "See you later, baby," and never saw her again.
We're gonna bang it every decade. No, but we thought Agent Carter had come through one of the TVA doors, didn't we? in the background
We did.
during Loki.
We did.
And I'm just saying that does although it happened in 1943, does it have to be a person from 1943?
I don't know. I would imagine
the possibilities are endless. It would be complicated, but the possibilities are endless.
You know how I went like down a really weird rabbit hole with the...
I've gone down
Hulk,
one as well.
Is Hulk the smart Hulk or the angry Hulk? You've gone down a much bigger one.
I'm just saying.
And much more random. I can't wait for Anthony's plausible theory.
It was Mephisto! He banged Mephisto.
I'd be okay with that. I'd be surprisingly okay.
That would make sense.
Go on. How does it make sense if Steve Rogers lost his virginity to Mephisto?
Because then they had Johnny.
Who's Johnny?
Fantastic Four.
Johnny Storm.
Yes.
No,
that's why he can flame on, because he's Mephisto.
And that's why he looks like Chris Evans.
Exactly.
Kind of like it.
Thank you.
No.
That's my ridiculous theory.
God, I hope not. He could be Star-Lord's granddad, though.
He could be.
Because I don't think it's confirmed, but the woman who plays Meredith Quill played the girl in Captain America 1, and people think that it must be Quill's grandma. So maybe he is. Maybe Captain America is Peter Quill's granddad. Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe. Probably not, though, to be perfectly honest. There was a whole thing about his ass, about Steve Rogers' ass. I like that as well. And then there was another really random reference in the car at the very start.
Yeah.
She was eating Cheetos with chopsticks.
Yeah.
And that was reference to a tweet that Oscar Isaac put out a couple of months ago where he was eating Cheetos with chopsticks.
Oh.
So Marvel referenced that, as you do.
Oscar Isaac was eating Cheetos with
chopsticks, yeah. I didn't even know this, but yeah, apparently.
Oh.
The power of Twitter told me.
Hilarious.
Learned me about it. Yeah, good stuff. Anyway, should we talk about the training?
Yes.
Okay, so we told you we'd get there in the end. So
who got trained?
I know. Bruce is so jealous.
It's so funny.
I like when she came out of that machine and like smashed it all up, and she's doing like the big angry thing and all that sort of stuff. And then Bruce is like, oh, and she's like, why are you talking to me like a stray horse?
Easy girl.
She's dead good. She's so good.
And then it's just his face of pure shock that she's just chatting to him.
Oh yeah. But it
what?
was with me, even though I knew she was going to do it.
Yeah.
I was still like, I enjoyed it. We didn't need, and I know in the comics, or I believe in the comics, we started off with her being like Hulk and not having any control.
Yeah.
And then somehow she gained control and became Sensational She-Hulk, I think she was called. But we don't need that.
No.
We've had 15 years of that with Hulk.
Yeah.
We don't need that thing again. Just jump straight to that. I'm okay with them changing that. I like how she was better than Hulk.
Yeah.
I like the level of cockiness that she had. It wasn't too much.
No.
I thought when she started getting cocky, I was like, she's gonna wind me up in a minute. Because it's gonna be like too cocky so quick. But it was just a perfect level. I just kind of enjoyed it more. She took the piss out of him a little bit when she's like mad like that and like stomping around. It just worked. I liked the whole thing with them throwing the rocks.
Yeah.
Like he threw one, then she threw one, and then he just launched it into space and it just disintegrated in the atmosphere.
It should have been a bear.
I know. It should have been. Oh my God. How did they miss that? They wouldn't have got away with that animal rights. That would have been so
Peter would have been furious.
I would have loved that though, to be honest. And despite how good she is, I like the fact that she doesn't want to be a superhero.
Yeah.
As cocky as and I think that's maybe why I was okay with the cockiness. Because it's like, she wasn't like, I'm going to be much bigger than you. I'm going to be the best superhero.
It was like, look, I can do it. Can I go now?
Yeah.
That's essentially all it was.
It was like,
and I loved it.
Let's fly through all this shit. I don't want to do it. Crack on. They ended up in the Hulk versus She-Hulk fight.
Yeah.
I didn't get that. I mean, I enjoyed it, but it felt a bit weird that they were having a proper fight.
I don't think that was a proper fight.
I don't think they were trying to kill each other or anything like that.
I think right. So I think for Bruce, he's isolated himself again.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Yeah.
Again. And this is a thing that he does. He's now got somebody that he can be a bit more rough and tumble with. Yeah. And it's somebody who is now more like him and knows his experience, so he can. He was just
enjoying the ability to,
and it's family as well. It's his cousin.
I know, but
do you know what I mean?
I think that was the vibe they were going for, but I didn't get that.
No, I did get it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were like not trying to kill each other, but I saw it.
It was like a sibling thing for me. It was very much like a. You've been told not to do this. Why are you ignoring me?
Yeah.
Like, I'm the big brother. You should listen to what I say.
Because I felt
and then
like
she's like, nah, let me do my own thing.
I felt like it was out of character for them both, but it did get me wondering, like, as much as they're both in control, is there still a side of Rage Hulk that's in control of both of them, and that's why they sort of started ripping to each other to pieces?
Well, I mean, could you ever imagine me getting into a fight?
No.
But I'll rugby tackle my sisters.
Yeah,
like, not asked. Like, we all... Honestly, my sister beats the shit out of me a lot of the time, and she's younger than me and half my size. But there's a total difference when you're with your family, and I like that we saw that with them.
Yeah, I suppose.
And for me, that fight...
I'm better with that now, though.
That fight was... I just thought it was dead funny. The coconut thing was hilarious.
I enjoyed it. I liked the whole Hulk thunderclap, and he'd got it, and then she couldn't get it, and then she figured it out. I liked that as well. One bit that I did think was weird was the fact that she managed to knock over Hulk with a car.
Yeah.
And at first, when that happened, that's why I thought he was messing around, and then I didn't. And then he got up, and he wasn't messing around, and I thought, well, how... Maybe that's what took me out of it, thinking, is this a proper fight or not?
I think part of it was, if you stand your ground, something hits you and it doesn't, but if you're not expecting it, it can knock you on your arse.
Yeah, maybe.
I think it was that kind of thing, and I think he's gone, she wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And then she does it, and he's like, shit.
Yeah, maybe.
I think that's all it was.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a bad scene. I enjoyed it.
No, I enjoyed it.
I completely enjoyed the scene, every aspect of it.
Yeah.
I just couldn't wrap my head around the reason behind it. Yeah, basically. Something else that was quite prominent in this, and I want to talk about this a bit, was that it was big on female empowerment.
Yes.
And life from a woman's point of view.
Me
and Anthony are not women, so we'll try and comment on this.
I loved the line that she said, I experience fear and anger every single day. It was something along those lines.
Anger and fear is the baseline of any woman just existing.
Yes. That was phenomenally powerful.
It was. The whole thing was, though.
The whole thing was, but that line in itself just absolutely, I was like,
and later on when they were doing like the yoga type thing, and she was saying it again.
Yeah.
The same sort of thing. And the start, the women in the bathroom just instantly going to help her.
Yeah.
The three dudes outside who were... not harassing her, but just being idiots. Do you know what? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it wasn't to the point where...
It's a fine line.
Yeah,
if they'd said hello and she'd gone, no, leave me alone, my boyfriend's coming, and they'd gone, right, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, all right. They didn't. They kept pushing and pushing and pushing. Yeah. And it showed...
That's red flag behaviour, but without it being too dark for the audience that we've got for She-Hulk.
Exactly.
And that's what it was.
And that's why I was okay with it. It was it was a good message.
Yeah.
It was an important message.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Especially now in America. With the whole thing with abortions and stuff like that. Like,
definitely.
I mean, I'm not going to get too political with it.
We're getting deep with that,
but the whole... If there's a time for female empowerment needed in America, it's now.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think
the
representation
I also feel that when you're going to start putting this messaging across...
Yeah.
There's a time and a place for different levels and different sort of how hard you're going to go on it.
Yeah.
And I don't think Disney Plus She-Hulk is where you make a massive political stand.
No.
This wasn't, in my opinion.
No.
This was done perfectly.
Yeah.
This was putting the message in the show.
Yeah.
And again, on the second viewing, I noticed it more because I was really looking at it to make notes. On the first one, I didn't not notice the things that were happening.
Yeah.
But I didn't even really notice that that's what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
It just felt natural and something that was just a part of the story, rather than them trying to construct a story around that message.
Yeah.
And I think it was perfectly done. And again, as important it is, sometimes like the A-Force moments in Endgame, which we've talked about to death, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
That felt really forced. Yeah. None of this felt forced.
No, not at all.
It all felt natural. It all felt good. I'm going to go off the episode, on and off the episode. This has been getting review bombed.
I'm really pissed off about this.
I'm not pissed off. I just think it's...
No, I think it's
life.
Just childish, man. Grow up.
Do you want to hear some of the reviews?
Go on.
I've got some reviews, right? Do you know, right? Am I naming them? Some dude called Travis gave it 0.5 star. He said, "This is terrible. It's made for people who act terrible and wonder why they are still single, and it can't be their own fault because men exist." What a tit. Damon Men Are Bad, the TV show. Yet another female MCU protagonist who is perfect at everything, who goes on a journey to find out she is more perfect than she ever imagined, and men are even worse than she thought. I don't know, I can't even pronounce that one. Don't watch it. She-Hulk is the worst MCU series ever, and not because of its VFX, which we'll talk about, but because it's so feminist. Seeing She-Hulk destroying our favourite superhero banner Hulk is not funny or cheerful to watch. Marvel fans are going to hate this. I don't, I'm a Marvel fan. If I could actually throw Rotten Tomatoes, I would throw like 100 of them. Right.
I can categorically tell you, and if anyone wants to kick off, they can do. They are the guys that give red flags.
Yeah,
they are the men that give red flags, that think that they have a right to possession of women. I mean,
and things like that.
I'm not even
getting that deep on it. I'm not even getting that. You're looking at getting offended there. It did have a very strong message of female empowerment. I didn't feel.
Why are you offended by that?
None of it. Do you know what? Right. If it had started going on and going, all men are bastards, women are better than men.
Yeah.
I probably would. Not a problem with it, but I'd be a little bit like, they didn't really need to do that.
Bit OTT. Yeah.
But they didn't do that.
No.
All these guys are sort of saying it as in they were having a pop at men. No, they weren't. They were just picking up women.
But those are the guys that would be the guys outside the bar.
None of it was at the expense of men. None of it was at the expense of Hulk. They didn't make Hulk look shit.
No, I know.
They made her look better than him. Yeah, I suppose to a degree, but it was just it wasn't to make Hulk look crap. And also, what is the problem if a woman is better at something than a man? But
it was that whole thing of women beating the expectations that are put upon them, rather than it being about Bruce being weak in any way.
Right. Bruce wasn't, and at one moment he was, right?
Yeah.
When Bruce was teaching her everything, he wasn't trying to beat her at anything.
No.
He was probably, and this is, I'll be very careful what I say, he was probably going easy and doing things slow because he was in the process.
Because it was their first time doing it.
Exactly. Yeah. And then she, like we said, flew through it all, not to say I'm better than you, Bruce, but to say I can do all this, I don't need training.
Yeah.
Right. At one point, when again he throws the first rock, she throws it further, he then hurls it into the atmosphere and it disintegrates.
Yeah.
How's that showing that she is better than him? Do you get what I mean? It's not doing it. It's still showing, look how powerful Hulk is. Who knows who could have thrown it further if they'd had a competition? That's not what it was about. No. It wasn't there to destroy Hulk or make Hulk look not manly.
Yeah.
Or to put him down or to make her look good at the expense of Hulk.
Yeah.
It was done just for
But this is what I'm saying. Those people who get offended are the people that raise red flags when they go out. They're probably single, probably never had a date in their lives.
Maybe.
And they honestly, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree.
And people just need to grow up.
I know. Don't watch it.
No.
Honestly, don't watch it.
Crack on with your life.
Don't watch it. That's it, isn't it? Courtroom scene.
It was very quick.
It was very quick.
It was very quick.
I feel like they skipped something there. I feel like it was a longer fight.
Yeah.
And they cut it short to stick within the 36 minutes.
Maybe.
I like the whole lawyer show thing. She was like, this isn't a superhero show, it's a lawyer show. And then it was like lawyer show time, and then it became a superhero show. Again, if I'm going to have a little bit of a dig of it, I really liked Jamila Jamil. She didn't really get to do much in this.
Yeah.
That scene, that little clip where she like did the flying kick, that looked a bit naff.
Yeah.
It was like going along on a wire. That was the only bad bit in the whole episode. Yeah. I like the whole thing of her taking off at Nikki, saying, no, give me your shoes. And then she got back in the shoes at the end. Yeah. I liked that.
I also like the whole. I like this suit.
I know, yeah. She's such a reluctant hero.
Yeah,
but that's why I like her, because she's not trying to be you know, big I am or anything like that.
And
she's doing it.
It's such a polar opposite from our last female, which is Haley, with Hawkeye.
Haley. It wasn't. It was Ms. Marvel was the last hero.
Oh, sorry.
Wasn't it? But no, I know what you mean.
Like, it's polar opposite from the fact that she was like, I want to hang out with Hawkeye, I want to learn, I want to do this, I want to do that. And then now you've got She-Hulk who's like, I just want to be a lawyer.
Yeah. I know, but that's it, isn't it?
And I really like that.
And again, these people criticising it, saying it's just the same female superhero again. It's not. It's miles different.
Yeah.
Massive different. This one's green. The other one wasn't green. It's different.
Yeah.
Talking about being green then, the CGI. So, in the trailers, it looked shit.
Yeah, it did.
It did look shit. They've put a lot of effort into this now.
They have.
It was clearly just unfinished.
Yeah.
There were a few bits where it didn't look great, but I wouldn't go as far as being bad.
Yeah.
A couple of shots in the training montage looked a bit not perfect, in my opinion. Only the fast-moving parts.
Yeah.
the bit where she not first turned, but in the basement in the lab when she broke out and she was saying like, "Why are you trying to talk to me like I'm a stray horse?" She looked really, really good there.
Yeah, she did.
I couldn't tell whether it was makeup on Tatiana Maslany in a wig at one point. And the same when she did the break the fourth wall.
Yeah.
When she looked at the camera then. It looked really, really good.
Yeah.
Banner looked amazing all the way through.
Yeah.
Again, not that I'm sure they haven't put more effort into Banner or anything like that, but
it's already an established thing
already
for him.
Done.
Yeah.
They've not had to spend any money. The Disney TV shows, I'm sure, have not got the same budget as the Marvel movies. Sorry.
Yeah.
But it's already there with Banner. You can just sort of copy and paste it in. They've had to create She-Hulk from scratch. There's something we've not mentioned before on the show that's been going on for weeks. Is this whole visual effects artists thing. Have you seen all this?
No, I haven't. So you said about the VFX before, but I actually don't know what that's about.
So apparently Marvel are really hard to work for if you're a VFX.
Okay, sorry, I am aware of this.
Yeah.
I've seen that there's a lot of people saying I wouldn't work with Disney again.
I don't know. I mean, and I'm not here to just, if that's what Marvel are doing, shame on you because you're a multi-billion-dollar company. Do you know what I mean? Hire more people. I just don't feel... I feel like I should comment on it, but I don't really know enough about it.
Yeah, no, I don't know enough about it, but it's that whole thing of fair portrayal. Look, at the end of the day, things got so bad, we ended up with a writer's strike.
Yeah, maybe that could be on the... Oh, God, I hope we don't get a VFX artist
Can you imagine?
Could happen.
It could, because if people are getting treated like that, like some of them have said that they know people that were in VFX for years that ended up dropping out after doing Disney,
really?
Because they'd totally just had enough.
Nah, it's not good.
And it that's
especially again when they're making this much money.
Yeah, they were talking about people that had been in the business 20 years and then they've just turned around and gone, do you know what? It's not worth it. It's not worth this.
No,
this treatment.
Yeah, no.
They'll have unrealistic deadlines. They don't get paid as much as some of the others. All of that kind of stuff. I just find that really sad.
I would hope Disney will act on this now, though.
I hope
now that it's out in all the media and stuff like that. And again, it's like we talked about with James Gunn. I'm not convinced they always do the things for the right reasons.
No.
But certainly from a publicity standpoint, I would imagine that they'll be all over this and they'll probably make a big deal of it and say, reluctantly hold the hands up and say we fucked up and we'll fix it. Initial thoughts then, sort of to wrap it up. I think it was up there with some of, if not the best, first episode Marvel series.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it was the best one. Not that I've got anything against it. I just feel like there's so much good stuff out there, but it was definitely up there. I hope it continues to sort of maintain that level of goodness, because I don't think Moon Knight did. I love Moon Knight episode 1.
Yeah.
And I feel like it wasn't bad, the series, but it took a dip for me. I've seen some comments, because some people have seen the first 4 episodes of this.
Yeah.
And I've seen people who say that they didn't really like it that much on episode 1, but it got progressively better up until the point where episode 4 is absolutely amazing and they're hooked.
Oh, okay.
So I'm hoping this gets better for us as well.
Yeah.
Which will be brilliant if that's where we're going. What do you think?
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I just really, really liked it. And I think a lot of that reason is the relationship between the two of them.
Yeah.
Between Bruce and Jennifer.
It felt natural, didn't it? Which is weird to say about these two big green things running around in a jungle. But it did. It felt natural. Yeah. That's why it's good. They've somehow managed to humanize 2 big green rage monsters.
Yeah.
To the point where you kind of you don't feel like you know them, but you want to know them.
Yeah.
What you'd give to go and sit in that bar with Hulk and She-Hulk, do you know what I mean? And just watch them train and have a drink. Do you know what I mean? So
you having your one to their entire bottle.
Exactly. Yeah, half. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Predictions then. I don't feel like we know enough.
I don't feel like we know enough. But obviously with the ship appearing, there's got to be something there.
Yeah. I think my first thoughts were we'll find out about this in episode 9.
Yeah.
When it's all wrapping up.
Yeah.
Titania, Jamila Jamil, she's been sort of portrayed as being the villain of this.
Yeah.
I'm not buying that.
No, I'm not buying that now. I think that she's a cover.
Yeah. As much as I like Jamila Jamil, I think that'd be a bit of a that'd feel like an anticlimax to be the villain.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised, because the Ms. Marvel villain was a massive anticlimax.
Yeah.
It was doing a lot in that show, like we said, but it wouldn't surprise me. But I think more that she'll end up being not an anti-hero, but and not like just like a shit baddie. I can see her ending up siding with She-Hulk by the end of this series.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's where it's going.
Yeah.
Where the big bad is, though, I don't know. It could be... I don't think it'll be Kingpin, but I think it could end up being Sicarian.
Do you?
And just going down that route. But again, I've got no idea. Absolutely no idea. It didn't get... As much as I enjoyed this and as much as it was fast-paced and there was a lot going on in it, I've got no idea where it's going as a series. And I think it's because I feel like all the clips we've seen, I've seen them all apart from Daredevil.
Do you reckon... I know, yeah. Do you reckon that Jamila Jamil's been used to that, like, it could be a Kang variant or something?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe we're getting into Skrulls, though.
Maybe.
That's why when you said variant, I couldn't even. Do you know what? I forgot who Kang was for a second. But yeah, maybe it's Skrullish.
There's so many options because obviously you've got like the Secret Wars or Secret Invasion. I keep getting confused between the two of them.
Secret Invasion. Secret Wars is the Avengers movie at the end.
Yeah. So Secret Invasion, you've got that coming soon. So this again could be something like that.
Yeah.
I would love to see cameos from other villains. You know, like if she's like going, I've got court today, and then it's the end of court session before she goes out to do something, and it's like, what was his name?
The Thing.
Army. No.
Army.
Hammer. Is that his name?
Oh, yeah, Justin Hammer.
Yeah, Justin Hammer, sorry.
Yeah, not Army Hammer.
No, totally
he sells houses now or something, doesn't he?
But, like, something like that, or Trevor making a deal, or, you know, something along those lines. I just think it'd be quite cool.
Yeah. Well, I completely forgot, we've got Blonsky in this.
Blonsky.
And Wong.
Yeah.
We've got Abomination and Wong somehow to come into this as well. So there's got to be a bigger bad than Titania.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not shitting on her as a character, but I just don't feel like she's a big enough villain to be taken on.
And that's why I thought maybe a smaller Kang or something.
I'm wondering whether it is going to be Sicarian and that's where we're going to end up. And I know we've got Daredevil in this, but I don't feel like we're going to see much of Matt Murdock. I feel like Matt Murdock's going to sort of just do his intro as Daredevil in the MCU in one episode. Yeah. And that's us. And I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I feel like we're just going to get introduced to him once and that'll be it.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to see loads of shit supervillains. From the trailers, it comes across as because she's now out as a superhero.
Yeah.
Other people with superhuman abilities are all going to start coming out and thinking it's cool as well and they're okay with it.
Bruce made a point of saying that.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
Yeah.
And that makes me think that people will come out of the woodwork to try and...
I think she'll end up fighting him. Daredevil will come and help her once as the hero coming out. Yeah. And then I don't think we'll see him again. I think that'll be him. And I kind of hope we don't. I want to see him in his own series. I don't want it just to become a Daredevil series, which you could very easily do because he's such a big, prominent character.
Could you imagine if he was in court, there was something, then just does like in passing comments, he's like, I've got another appointment with Mr. Parker. I think that's what
we'll see.
Like,
do you
know what I mean? Like
not
that kind
Mr.
of thing.
Parker, they're not allowed to use Spider-Man.
Are they not?
No. Couldn't get a deal with Sony. Not part of the deal. They're not allowed to mention or reference or use Spider-Man or any Spider-Man characters.
So they can't even say Mr. Parker?
No, I would imagine not, no.
That's shit, that, innit?
IP in it. So, but I think you'll see Matt Murdock in court. She'll go up against Matt Murdock in court in a case. Yeah. And then in that episode, she'll also be dealing with Daredevil.
And not put the two and two together.
No. Clearly Matt Murdock will know who they both are.
Yeah.
But she won't know until the very end. And that's why I think it'll be one episode.
Okay.
That's why I think it'll be one. But yeah, I'm excited to see where it's going to go. Should we do...
Do you reckon the one that they fight against each other is over Punisher? Because he could be introduced.
I'd be amazed if that happened. I'd be really, really good with that. And again, we talked the other week and said like how good would it be seeing him interact with Haley Steinfeld?
Yeah.
It'd be just as good with Tatiana Maslany. Yeah, that'd be just as good. I'd be completely okay with that. Should we do? What are we going to do next, Andy? Should we do plausible / ridiculous theories and then do Podfans Assemble?
Yeah.
Andy's got notes. Okay. Go on. We've not got the intro music for ridiculous theories, but go, Anthony, go.
No, so you saw that I've got my little Marvel encyclopedia out.
It's not a little. It's huge.
It is massive.
It's heavy.
So basically, I'm
sitting on it.
I was just kind of flicking through it, and then I was reading stuff, and I was like, because it's stuff that I don't necessarily know from comics and things like that.
Yeah.
So we are getting the X-Men.
We are.
You know, we know it's coming now. Mutants are coming.
Yeah, but we think we're getting X-Men.
We're getting the X-Men.
Years.
We're getting it.
Years.
Anyway.
Phase 7, 8, and 9.
Anyway, So my thought.
Go on.
Last time we saw Wanda.
Yeah, she was dead.
Or so we think.
Or so we thought.
Coming off in an avalanche of rocks, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What if?
That's a show. Sorry,
what if
one.
Magneto resurrects her?
Yeah.
Because in the comics, he's down as like there's a thing about him being her dad, isn't there?
He is her dad, yeah. He's
so
Pietro and
if he was to resurrect her or kind of bring her from the brink, whatever's going on with her,
yeah,
he could then kind of introduce her by being her father because he's brought her back.
Yeah, yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm all right with that. Yeah.
So that's one of my theories. That's something I thought that it'd be a good kind of reintroduction if Wanda comes back.
What if instead, because in the comics there was House of M,
right? And
in that one, because she's so powerful, said no more mutants and all the mutants disappeared.
Yeah.
What if they do a reverse of that, and she creates all the mutants? Maybe there's not that many of them.
Yeah, yeah.
And she creates the mutants to the point where they've always existed. Because they've got to explain somehow how Professor X has never been. I mean, he's a very powerful mutant. He's a mega level, isn't he? So he could very easily cover his tracks and make people forget him.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be good if we found out that he was there all along? Can you imagine?
It was Xavier all along.
Our mate Giancarlo Esposito. And you just see clips and he was there for everything.
Yeah, just stood behind a tree as Thanos clicks.
No, but seriously, if he was actually there as part of the fight, if the whole X-Men were, would you be all right with that? If we got, if on the introduction of the
yes and no,
the introduction of the X-Men and the introduction, because again, one of the good things I liked about She-Hulk is the fact that we're an episode in, she's just there. We technically started the episode with her fully trained and with her powers, because we all know She-Hulk and the big Marvel fans already know, and people who aren't necessarily massive Marvel fans do the research.
Yeah.
Everybody knows who the X-Men is.
Yeah.
We don't need a Wolverine origin. We don't need a Cyclops origin. We don't need any of the main team's origins.
No.
So what if the X-Men movie, or somehow they introduced it through a TV series before the movie, showed that for everything we've seen, Xavier and the X-Men have pretty much been there, and he's just wiped everybody's minds as they've gone along. So any big, massive peril, they've jumped in. They've jumped in and helped them been there. I'd be okay with that.
I'd think it was quite cool if we got like cutbacks and then you saw them just kind of put into the scene. Like I'd be like, yeah, that'd be cool.
I kind of.
But then I'd be a bit pissed that I've missed it all as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, not working alongside the Avengers.
No,
but like during the Battle of New York in 2012, 2012.
Yeah.
If during that battle they were there,
just
fighting alongside, and maybe didn't interact with the Avengers, but they were there fighting alongside. Not alongside, just like in the same street sort of thing.
Yeah.
But you know what? Taking out Chitauri, and we found out that they'd been there all along, and they were there as part of the battle event at the end of Endgame, and Charles Xavier just wiped it.
Yeah.
I'd like that. Everyone's sitting there going, fucking shut up, Nick. That's a crap idea. I wanted a Wolverine origin movie. But yeah, I think that'd be a good way of doing it. I don't want another Wolverine origin movie.
No, I don't. I think we need to take a break from Wolverine.
I don't need a massive thing about, not even just Wolverine. And I've watched 2 introductions of the X-Men.
Yeah.
I've done the 2000s one, and then we did the reboot with X-Men First Class, which was good, and then it went downhill quickly from there.
Yeah.
We've already been introduced to these characters twice. We don't need it again. No. We just need them dropping in.
Yeah,
and it's how else do you explain the fact that they all of a sudden there's a load of mutants who are an established team?
Yeah.
Do it, Feige. Go on, Anthony.
Dare
ya. Do your second ridiculous theory. Sorry, plausible theory.
So, I also read a bit up on Galactus.
Galacticus. Maximus Decimus.
I knew you were going to say that again. It was one time.
That's a callback from an old episode.
Shut up. So,
anyway.
What have we not addressed so far? A big event that we've not addressed since.
That's happened in a Marvel movie?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We've got a fucking big celestial sticking out of one of the oceans.
Yeah. People have commented on that.
And nothing's been done about it.
5 projects since that happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't seem to have gotten onto anybody. It's not even been like on a TV screen in the background, like on the news or something.
We don't know when that was. We don't know when that happened.
No, we don't. However, here's a thought.
Yes.
What if? So basically, the power that the celestial kind of creates, when it's being birthed, and then with it having been stopped,
don't like the word birthed, but yeah, go on.
That energy doesn't just stop.
Energy must transfer.
Yeah. Energy doesn't kind of dissipate or anything like that. It just moves.
Yes.
So with the fact that it's kind of only half emerged from the planet, not even half, but it only just started emerging from the planet and then has been stopped.
Yeah.
That energy's still sitting there. What if Galactus has picked up on the energy signature and that's why he comes to Earth?
For like munchies and stuff like that, to eat all the energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't feel that'll happen for a while.
No, but I'm just, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I like that.
It'd be a good way for Galactus to come along and into it. Yeah. It's a plausible way for it to be done.
I like it. I think we're years off Galactus though. I think we're gonna have this.
I reckon. Yeah,
this is all Kang.
This
the
is
multiverse
all
Kang saga.
Yeah.
I reckon the next 3 phases after this will be the mutant saga. It'll all be about mutants.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. Ending in like a X-Men versus Avengers or Avengers versus X-Men, which has been done in the comics.
Oh, okay.
And then we'll get on to Galactus. We'll be dead. Me and you'll be well gone by the time we get
70 watching it in our little home and then sat here with the mics like this.
I know.
I
think. That'll be it. But yeah, I like them theories. I like the fact you've done some research, Andy.
Thanks, mate. I've really been trying.
We're going to get these every week now.
I had my first weekend off, didn't I? So
I know, yeah.
I just sat and had a little read and was like... Well, my mate bought me that for my birthday, and if I'm totally honest, I haven't had a chance to actually look at it. So when
it's not the sort of book you read. It's
the
sort of book you have a flick through and you go, oh, I didn't know who this character was, and you do a bit of research.
Exactly.
Sort of thing.
And then I just sat there and kind of I'd been thinking about the movies and stuff and what we could expect, and that's my two things.
Tune in next week for Anthony's next ridiculous theories when he's read another 2 pages of the book.
You're welcome.
Anyway, should we do Pod Fans Assemble?
Yeah, let's do it.
Pod Fans Assemble.
So, we had the poll for She-Hulk to see what everybody thought about the first episode. 68% of you loved it. 22% said it was okay, and 10% hated it.
We got higher love on Sandman that we recorded yesterday. Yeah, I'm not impressed. I don't get how... So, we got a lot of votes. We got 50 votes on this. We don't normally get that many votes. I'm surprised 5 people hated it. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't get it. I don't think the CG was bad. You know, at the start, I was trying not to get into it at the start when I said I don't get it, but I do get it. I don't get the I get why people didn't like it, but I don't agree with... Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because there's some people who don't like this. I'm not saying that is necessarily the reason why our listeners have voted that they don't like it, but I do wonder whether the people who have are maybe not listeners, and they're just those sort of people.
Yeah. Totally.
Anyway.
So Kenneth said, I love this episode. Pitched perfectly in my opinion, and what wonderful chemistry between Mark Ruffalo and Tatiana Maslany as Hulk Bruce and She-Hulk Jennifer. I can't remember the last time I had so many belly laughs at dialogue gags and visual ones in the MCU. Perhaps never. 9 out of 10.
I did as well, you know. I found myself proper laughing out loud on this a few times.
Yeah, it was really funny,
to be fair. I hope they don't lose that tone and we go dead dark and serious. That's why I don't feel we're going to get much of Matt Murdock, because I feel like this is going to be a full-on comedy, which I'm completely here for.
Yeah.
But I feel like Matt, I want Daredevil to be dark and gritty.
Yeah. But he can make an appearance without it being... But if he was in kind of like 7 episodes of it...
Yeah, I don't think that'd suit.
No.
We'd end up with the bloody Sandman.
Ronan said, I liked it. I feel like I was watching Deadpool a little bit. It was a great episode. This show could be better than Moon Knight.
It did feel very Deadpool humour, but not killing and... fucking and... So I don't know where I was going with that, but you know what I mean. I meant F-bombs. F-bombs. There was no F-bombs. Although there nearly was.
Yeah, nearly.
We got half of one.
Yeah. Liam Dearden said She-Hulk perfectly captures Jennifer Walters' courtroom antics, and episode 1 fully establishes the character and her well through an episodic story. Tatiana Maslany is incredible and such perfect casting. She's driven to become a lawyer by a passion to dispense justice.
Love Liam's reviews every week. That was a quarter. Liam, I couldn't fit them all in, mate.
I know, yeah.
But Liam.
I did actually. I read all of those, to be fair.
Yeah.
I did sit and read them.
We've retweeted them on Twitter. Go and check them out.
Yeah. Peacemaker said, this was slightly disappointing. Great start, though the pacing dragged a bit, but the most disappointing part was the courtroom fight. The editing was horrendous, and it seemed like there was 3 minutes of fight edited out. I am optimistic that the show will get better, though.
I don't agree with the pacing.
I
think it was
don't agree with
really
the
good. I think it was really good.
Yeah,
I do
yeah.
think the courtroom scene was the
weakest part. Yeah.
I mean, the flying kick was shit. I'll be dead honest. It looked crap.
Yeah.
It took me out of it, but it was the very end of the episode, so it was okay.
Yeah. Could you imagine if she's got to get Yelena out of something?
Yeah, I could see us just getting so many cameos.
I know. It'd be so good. Movies for Real said, She-Hulk at least right now does not work for me. Tatiana Maslany does a great job in the role. The issue for me is the writing and comedy. Had me rolling my eyes multiple times, just her being better than Hulk at everything. When can Hulk be respected again?
I think Hulk... do you know what? Right, and I don't think this is where I was going... I don't think he's going down that route that I was saying with the other people wearing reviews. Yeah. And I get the fact that we did have this big scary... don't mess with Hulk, and they've gone massively away from that. We said this last week. I want to see big, angry, scary, horrible Hulk again. That's what I like. I don't think they were trying to make him look stupid. As I said, Hulk wasn't going full power at any point here.
No,
he was trying to train her, and again, it didn't come across to me as she was being too cocky. Or it was trying to put him down.
It's not about the strength and how good you are. It's the fact that he said he's taken 15 years to get to this point. And so he's expecting her to need 15 years to get to where she is. And she's just absolutely slamming every test and every kind of thing that he runs with her.
It's not a competition, though.
No, it's not a competition. It's the surprise that he's actually... It's like teaching a baby to walk. That's what he's doing, essentially.
Yeah.
And you're not going to do that by kicking the kid up the arse across the landing, are you?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
That was a weird analogy, but yeah.
But you know what I mean, though. It's not... that's not how it works.
No.
So, like, it's
Anne hasn't got kids. Thank God.
But that's what I mean. Like, it's,
I know what you mean.
You can't. You don't just chuck a kid in the deep end of the water.
And the fact that it's his cousin as well. He's not.
Yeah.
And again, when they ended up having the fight.
Yeah.
It was very, balanced.
Yeah.
She wasn't absolutely hammering him or anything like that.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Hopefully,
but I get though, when can Hulk be respected again? Because
I agree.
A lot of that has been lost.
Not respected, but
no.
I want to see big, scary. Like he was right.
And this is why we need a solo
Hulk,
film for him.
We Have a Hulk was not a scary line, but it was like, doesn't matter what you've got.
We've got a Hulk. Yeah.
And now you wouldn't sit there and go, we've got a Hulk. You'd be like, we've got Banner.
But the other thing is, what you've got to remember is that the whole story arc for Bruce is that he wanted a cure.
Yeah, I know.
Every single Hulk we've ever had, where going right back to the 70s, has always been about him finding a cure.
Fighting bears, traveling
he doesn't
around.
Want to be Hulk. He wants to find this cure.
Exactly.
And we're a lot further progressed with this Hulk than we've ever been with anybody before.
Because nothing's lasted
and
this long.
Exactly. And he's actually becoming content with having a balance between the two. And I get it. It's not that he's not respected. It's just that he's evolved.
Exactly. But they've got to do this so that if it was just Hulk from, I mean, they evolved him with Ragnarok to a degree, but even that was not the Hulk that I sort of preferred. Hulk in Age of Ultron was the best Hulk. Was the best Hulk.
Yeah.
But if you'd had Hulk in Age of Ultron in every single movie, and it'd all been
boring.
We have a Hulk now. Do you know what I mean? He stepped in at the end. It would get boring. How excited are you going to be when we get that Hulk back in World War Hulk? Because we've had this Hulk. It's part of the storytelling process.
And anybody who hasn't, jump back to our Ed Norton version of Hulk.
Yeah.
We sat and talked about the fact that what did we talk about?
I don't know.
And it was going somewhere with this.
I'm sure you were.
We talked about bollocks. It's completely gone.
We talked about him being in control.
Oh no, we talked about how it could change. So we talked about how the fact that we could get a separate Bruce from Hulk, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
So we talked about that this could become two different characters.
This could be it.
We could have something happen. They get spliced. I don't know.
Or we could end up with no more Bruce if we do go down the Scar route with his son. We could just end up with a different Hulk.
We could end up with Bruce.
And then you've got both.
We could end up with Bruce being stuck as Hulk, as in original Hulk.
Yeah.
And a Skrull taking over as Bruce.
Oh, I kind of like that.
That could be a thing.
But you've got the best of both worlds then as well, because you've got Smart Hulk, a.k.a. She-Hulk now.
Yeah.
And then you've got a big.
You've got brains and brawns.
Yeah,
you've got the pair of them.
I trust where they're going with it.
There's always that kind of thing.
Spent a lot of time on that comment. Thank you for the comment.
No worries. Corellia,
excellent content.
Corellia Christina said, glad to see there was an explanation for why Bruce can switch between forms.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to just sort of fly over that.
We've been questioning that for literally years now.
I know, yeah.
Because we've seen him in so many... Yeah. So yeah, we're glad to see that as well. The Colby cast said, fun, funny, and fast-paced. I thought this was an excellent start to the series. I am excited to see more. So am I. Smash Trivia said, this was an incredible premiere. I think it's my favourite bit of Hulk-related content I've seen. Tatiana shows that she's perfect as She-Hulk, plus her and Mark have great chemistry as a family. The scene where Jen explains how she has to control her anger all the time was amazing.
Yes,
it really was.
I agree.
It was a fantastic scene, that. Jolly Poussey just wrote... Oh, she didn't write anything. She just put the gif of Tatiana. Yes.
Yeah. Like that. Nice and simple. That's all you need.
Nice and simple. Christopher Michael Jones said, being a fan of She-Hulk since she was introduced in 1979. I didn't know it was that early that she was introduced.
No, I didn't.
79.
I thought 90s.
I would have liked at least a couple of episodes as Savage She-Hulk before we got to Sensational She-Hulk. I realised they wanted to get right to Lawyer She-Hulk and I'm interested. It just felt a little too rushed.
Yeah. But I think they did it because we've already seen that story.
I think something could happen that she goes savage.
Okay, I'd be alright with that.
She could lose somebody.
Yeah.
And that just kind of sends her, yeah.
Maybe.
You never know. They could just do it back to front.
They could do.
Christopher, it's endless, the opportunities we've got here. What is wrong with my English language today? It's not working for me.
My talking no work.
Me no good England. God. Right. Crack on. Uzi. Good. Better than I thought and instantly loving Jen, but I suppose that's on good acting.
I'm sorry, I'm still gone. Do that one again. I missed that one. Look, you're getting 2 shout-outs in one episode.
Uzi said, good. Better than I thought and instantly loving Jen, but I suppose that's on good acting.
Yeah.
She was phenomenal.
She was really good.
Juabi Cardoso said, funny, crazy, very deep, and didn't have any problems by pushing MCU boundaries. The fourth wall, her abilities, the way Tatiana shaped She-Hulk's soul. I wish she were real. Crazy in love about this show. Sheldon Pink said, instant love, such a fun first episode. The minute she broke the fourth wall at the beginning and the later one with Bruce just paid homage to the Bine run perfectly. A well-placed origin episode and I can't wait for more She-Hulk. Credit sequence was ace too and mid-credits.
It was. The credit sequence was really good.
Yeah.
I like all the drawings, like
courtroom
drawing style thing. And
it was really cool.
Captain America, Virgin. That was good as well.
Yeah. Bargain Bin Harley Quinn, love the name.
Best name ever.
Said, so far, love it. It's really interesting to see a character not fully embrace their physical enhancements. I can't immediately think of another character who is so adverse to the superhero lifestyle. Jen is also just a riot. She's genuinely hilarious and endearing. I agree.
Can't think of another character either.
No, I can't.
No, I said it is
apart from Rogue. That was because she was killing everyone.
Yeah.
Jesse, just finished it. It was all a bit of a blur for me, but obviously a lot of setting up for the character. The end credit scene had me howling though, and me.
Amazing.
It's the fact that she jumped off the stool.
I know.
Like she was so excited for him. I just loved it. Ragnarok said, it definitely delivered on the comedy aspect, even if it's still at the expense of Bruce's character becoming more and more Shrek and less Hulk. But the first episode should have ended on the beach instead of the 4-second fight scene that we got, in my opinion, just ruined the pacing. I can understand that.
I get that.
I can understand that.
I think it was needed to wrap up the story because, like we said, you can now just go into episode 2 with.
Well, it's that introduction to the fact that she can't keep the two separate.
Yeah.
And it's the Spider-Man complex.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing that it's very difficult to separate your everyday life to the superhero life.
Yeah.
And that's
we could have had a whole episode though on which I wouldn't have been averse to. We could have had the one episode doing all the training and learning how to do it, which would still been quick, and then one episode where she was like, I don't want to be a superhero, but I've got to be a superhero and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
They did that in a minute and a half.
Yeah.
And again, I think it's okay that we now just move on.
Yeah.
That. I wouldn't have had a problem with it.
We can get to the main story.
We can just get to the story, yeah. And I'm not convinced it's going to be one massive story.
No.
I feel like this might be like a week by week Marvel cameo episode with like a tiny little
procedural
thing, like a tiny little thing running through. Do you know what I mean? Until
yeah.
But yeah, either way, I really enjoyed it. Is that us?
That was everyone, yeah.
Fantastic. So before we wrap up, let's do patron shoutouts. Thanks to Geekin8, Kenneth, Night Spearhead, Richard, Jessica, Avid Gamer, and Anthony Wells for supporting the show. Patrons get exclusive access to our bonus podcast, Into the Podverse, with new episodes every month. This month, oh my god, the things we do for you guys. I sat and watched the entire series of The Sandman. And we recorded the review last night.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Yeah, 2 episodes in 2 days. I was so committed.
I know, right?
Should be committed. Yeah, it's on there. It's up on Patreon. I did spoilers. I didn't enjoy it, but you can go and listen to it anyway. You get access to those. You get access to the Discord server as well, where you can listen into the show being recorded live, like our patrons are at the moment, and you can talk to us and the other patrons. You get all that for £4 a month. If you want to access all that extra content and support the show, you can head over to thatsuperherothing.com/Patreon or hit the link in the episode description. Otherwise, thanks for listening. Don't forget to come back next week for our review of She-Hulk Episode 2, plus all the latest comic book movie news. We should let you know that we will be a little bit later next week because we're not here.
Oh, yeah. So
the episode will drop, let's say Sunday.
Okay.
Evening / Monday morning.
This is where I get a text at 2 a.m. going, I've only just done it.
So it'll be at some point on Sunday / Monday. But you know what? We've rushed you this week. We got loads of Podfans Assemble entries, but we've rushed you to get them in very quickly.
Yeah,
You've got a little bit of time. Yeah. After that, you're not got any time because you're going to have to get all of them in very early. And then the week after that, you're going to have to get all your Andor reactions in at the same time as your She-Hulk reactions. It's going to be manic. If you don't already, though, make sure to check out our socials at Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for all the latest updates on the show and your calls to action for Podfans Assemble. As we said at the start, if you've enjoyed the show, please make sure to subscribe on your favourite podcast platform and leave us a rating or review on Apple or Spotify. This helps us out massively because the more subscribers we get and the more 5-star reviews that we get, the higher we go up in the charts and the more people will find the show.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to buy yachts and supercars and Lambos.
I'm on a boat.
Yeah, just you subscribing and leaving us a 5-star review on Spotify and Apple. Just like the sky's the limit. I'm going to buy 3 boats. I'm going to buy a Lamborghini boat. Conor McGregor's got one of them.
Has he?
He has, yeah. I don't know why, but he has. Anyway, that took a weird
Who's
turn.
Conor McGregor?
Conor McGregor. You don't know who Conor McGregor
Oh,
is?
the Irish
Not
fighter.
Colin McGregor. He's just some dude.
I thought you
on
said
the pub.
Colin.
No, Conor McGregor.
Yeah, I know him.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know him.
Not personally.
We're not mates.
This has been a weird episode. It's been a weird one. I think we should just leave it there.
Yeah, let's just...
Great.
All right.
Nice one. Thanks,
See you
guys.
later.
Thanks for listening. See
Bye.
you later. Bye.